Hi everybody, it's me Jack. Welcome back to the channel, and today I have a confession to make. I've never learned how to pick the right engine in Big Oil, and I've been playing Payday 2 since the Crime Wave edition released on Xbox One back in 2015. Sure, there's plenty of helpful guides out there, and even a third-party calculator. But if you've been around the channel for a little while now, you might have learned that I like to do things my way. So in this video, I'll be showing you how I learned to figure out the engine puzzle, along with grabbing two different Big Oil achievements, a junkyard full of junkies, and Damn It Bile. So first up, a brief guide to day 1 and grabbing the A Junkyard Full of Junkies achievement. It should be noted that all of the footage in this video is recorded on normal difficulty, because these achievements don't have any difficulty requirements, however you are free to do them on a harder difficulty if you wish. So first up, you want to get into the house. There are 3 floors to check, so make sure to be quick but thorough, as there are about 12 bikers scattered throughout the house on normal. Additional bikers may sometimes spawn in the area surrounding the house, but I didn't find this happening very often when I was playing on normal. If you do end up missing this achievement because of some of the outside bikers, feel free to restart and you'll likely have this achievement before long. As you can see, I wasted quite a bit of time running around the house, and I still got it with about 15 seconds to spare. Outside of going for the achievement, day 1 doesn't really have that much to offer, but there are still some things to keep in mind. First of all, the intel. There are 7 different pieces of intel, but only 3 will spawn on any given run, regardless of difficulty. 3 don't really provide any value, whereas the other 4 are quite useful. Also, you should take note that the bikers will attempt to destroy all of the intel if they are alerted, so try and complete this day in stealth if possible. The blueprints just show you the layout of the heist, which is only really useful if you've never done Big Oil Day 2 before, and the scientist and the guard intels show you pictures of what the scientist and the guards look like. Which is also pretty useless, as the scientist is just another civilian and the guards generally look the same across all heists in the game. The useful intels are the shutter codes, which let you close off some of the house once Day 2 goes loud, the aeroplane keys, which let you escape quickly once the correct engine has been found, the keycard, which functions the same as all other keycards in the game, and the cold fusion research, which I'll get into a little later on when I'm explaining how to solve the engine puzzle. There's also a chance for the fence outside the compound to be electrified, so be sure to have a silenced weapon equipped before getting close. Finally, a little bit of fun trivia for day 1. You might know that on Watch Dogs Day 2 and on Reds Day 3, you can actually see the location the other heist takes place at from within that heist. But did you know that during Big Oil Day 1, you can actually see both heists? Sadly, you can't see Big Oil Day 1 back from either heist, but it's a cool piece of trivia that I found while putting this video together regardless. Okay, now for Day 2. First off, I'll be showing you how I got the Damn It Bile achievement. After that, I'll be going over how to solve the engine puzzle. So first of all, I grabbed a keycard, which I was lucky enough to get after Day 1. If you don't get a keycard, I wouldn't worry about it too much. As long as you have 2 fully upgraded ECMs, you can open 2 out of the 3 possible server room doors, and if you have the open shutters, or the codes to open them, you can verify one of the server room spawns very easily, meaning you can get the other 2 doors and be guaranteed to get the server room. Worst case scenario, you'll have to restart once or twice to get the server room. Or you could consider bringing a silence saw and using the silence saw technique to get into all 3 security rooms quickly. Sneaking through the house here. Once you're inside the security room, you have about 3 minutes of free time while the server hack progresses. In stealth, this will never be interrupted, not even by any guards, even though the wiki says otherwise. Hello, Jack from the future here. Just wanted to say I'm not 100% sure whether guards can spot the computer as it's being hacked like I said here. I did try testing it by watching the guards as they roamed by the downstairs computer being hacked, but they never did seem to get fully alerted. That being said, I was attempting this on the normal difficulty, so they may only spot it on harder difficulties, just something to keep in mind. So you can use this time to explore the house and find the engine clues, which I'll explain a little later. You can also use this time to take out a few of the guards. However, be careful as there are cameras in the house, which cannot be turned off, and there are about 5 guards roaming around the house. An additional guard will also spawn once you've taken out a few, who will eventually leave and despawn if he never finds anything suspicious while he's searching the mansion. Also worth mentioning in case you haven't played this heist in a long time, the guards will no longer become alerted when the lab door is open. I'm not actually sure when this change was made, and now you can probably see the last time I ended up playing Big Oil. But yeah, don't worry about opening the lab door once you get to that point, the guards will never spot it being open. Once the computer hack is finished, make your way into the lab. If you actually intend on completing the heist, then stick with me and I'll explain how to solve the engine puzzle in a minute here. If not, feel free to just bag up the first engine you see, as that will allow you to place the flare to signal Bile. You also don't have to actually carry the bag to the flare, so you can just leave it in the lab. And then, once Bile makes his way over, pop, you got the achievement. So, if you're like me, and you're sick of Bane saying, then you'll probably want to know how to solve the engine puzzle. As I said at the start of the video, there are external tools and guides to help you solve this puzzle anytime you play this heist. But I wanted to learn the steps in a simple way I could remember instead of treating this puzzle like a COD Zombies Easter egg. Now that I've learned the simple way, I'd like to share it with you as well. So, there are only 3 things you actually need to remember to solve this puzzle, despite how daunting it might actually look. Those 3 things are a colour, a number between 1 and 3, and a greater than, less than sign. You actually need to remember even less if you have the Cold Fusion research intel, but we'll start by trying to solve the engine puzzle without having the Cold Fusion research. To start with, the colour that we need is represented by one of the 3 different elements: nitrogen, deuterium, and helium, as you can see on the first whiteboard as you enter the lab. Which element you need to find will be written on a notebook with a green check mark on it. The handwriting is a bit messy, so take your time to read it properly. Now that you've read what element is on the notebook, go back to the whiteboard to find out what colour represents that element, and now you have one of the 3 clues that you need. The notebook has 9 spawns as follows. There's 1 in the master bedroom, 2 in the office, there's 1 in this small bedroom with the white bed, there is 1 downstairs in this open area on the coffee table, and then there are 4 different spawns down in the lab. The first one is as you walk in on the left, on this table near the ingredients. The second one is across from that next to the computer. The third one is near an engine in the back of the lab. And the fourth one is in the other side, on the right hand side, and it's straight as you walk in next to this computer. Next up is the number between 1 and 3. The number is actually the number of hoses. This clue is really easy to figure out, as you'll be looking for a clipboard with a bunch of writing on it, but near the bottom you'll either see 2 or 3 times H, meaning 2 or 3 hoses connected, or H infinity, which just means 1 hose connected. That's clue number 2. You'll also be able to determine which room the engine is in once you have this clue, as the room on the left only has 3 hoses connected, and the room on the right has 1 and 2 hoses connected. The clipboard also has 9 spawns, but these are different to the notebook spawns. It has 1 spawn in the upstairs living room, 1 next to the recliner upstairs, it has 1 in the upstairs office, 1 below that in the room with the pool table, then across the house there is 1 inside the small office with the guns. There is also 1 near the front door. And then also 3 in the lab. 1 on the room on the left, near the back, near an engine. And there are also 2 in the right. 1, so as soon as you turn in on the right hand side near another engine, and 1 in the central stack next to the computers. Finally, the most daunting of the clues, the pressure. This one is actually much easier to figure out than it may initially appear. On one of the computers in the lab, you'll see in the top right corner either a less than 5,812 psi or a greater than 5,783 psi. You can ignore the number entirely here, we're only interested in the greater than or the less than sign. If the sign says less than, then our engine has less than 400 bar, which is the unit displayed on the scales of each engine. The opposite is also true. If the sign says greater than, then our engine will be greater than 400 bar, or more than 400 bar. The correct engine will never be exactly 400 bar, only ever below or above based on the greater than and less than signs. You should try and focus on solving this clue first, as the computer with the clue on it can be destroyed by gunfire or explosions. This is the third and final clue. Once you have this, you should be able to figure out which engine is the one that you need. If you were lucky enough to pick up the Cold Fusion research, finding the correct engine is even easier. It essentially means you'll only ever have 2 engines to pick from, and the only clue you'll need is the pressure. The reason for this is that the Cold Fusion intel states that palladium is added to the engine. Using one of the boards found in the lab, you can see the 2H, which is the real-life equivalent of deuterium, is added to PD, which is palladium. And the 3H on the left means that it uses 3 hoses. You don't actually need to know any of this, but I find it's easy to learn things when you know why something works the way it does. So now we know that we're looking for a blue tank with 3 hoses. We only actually have 2 valid engines to choose from. One that's below 400 bar, and one that's above 400 bar. We use the computer to figure out whether we need less than 400 bar or greater than 400 bar, and we have our engine. Simple, right? Finally, now that you know how to solve the engine, I'm going to do a quick run where I actually solve the engine by myself using this new knowledge that I'd learnt, so hopefully you enjoy. So we're starting off as we go down into the lab. Grabbed a little weapons case. Actually started this one off on normal, so all of the clues were down in the lab anyway. I feel like they're all down in the lab on normal, I'm not 100% sure. So we found straight away the first clue, the deuterium, which means it's the blue tank. As you can see there, blue tank, or blue can. Searching through the mess everywhere, it's horrible down here. Okay, there's papers everywhere. I actually didn't notice the scientist. I have no idea how, so I kind of jump scared when I saw him. But, you know, tell him to get down. He's not a problem. He's a regular civilian, so you tie him up. And there's the clipboard, which says that we have 3 hoses, as you can see. 3 times H, 3 hoses. So we know it's a blue can, and we know it's got 3 hoses, so it's not in this room. And also, there's the PSI, and we can see that it is a less than 400 bar. So we know it's in this room, because this is where all the 3 hoses are. So we're looking for something less than. So that's more than 400, as you can see that's over 500 with a blue tank. There's a blue can here. It's less than 300, or less than 400, sorry. As you can see that. So we're remeasuring it. Less than 400. Double checking the hose count. Yep, definitely got 3 hoses. And then double checking, yep, it's definitely blue. So, there you go. The puzzle, honestly not that hard. I thought this was much worse until I actually just tried it, and it's, yeah, honestly, it's not awful. So there we go. And now, of course, once we call in Bile, it will eventually go loud. So if you're playing this on a harder difficulty, you probably want to find somewhere good to defend, especially if you're using a stealth build to stealth through the first half. And there we go. Bile's on his way. So now all we gotta do is drop the engine off inside the helicopter and wait for it to be verified. But we used all the clues, we used the advice from the video, so we should get it first try. Which will also get you the Dr. Fantastic achievement if you haven't got it yet. And there we go. Easy. Now, we have to wait for the helicopter to arrive, but if you did get the plane keys from day 1, you would now be able to escape through using the plane on the runway. So there we go, that's Big Oil. In 2023, can you believe it? If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like. If you would like to see more videos like this, consider giving a subscribe. And if you've got any ideas for any videos like this, feel free to leave a comment. That's about it for this one. Thanks for watching, see ya.